What's up, you guys? Today we are talking about what the Switch 2 needs to be successful. What I think the Switch 2 needs to do to change things, to put Switch on top. Not that it's not on top. Switch is actually probably the best console ever made. Well, first off, let me start with the name. I want it to be named Super Switch because I just think it's similar to the NES and the Super Nintendo, okay? It's similar to those two. The NES was like a game changer. It came in, kind of broke the scene after the Atari and stuff like that and changed things up. And then the Super Nintendo came in and just improved upon that, made it a little bit better. That's what they need to do. Just some simple changes, pretty much the same thing, just upgrade a few things. One of it, power boost, okay? I want to be able to run Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom better than I was able to. I want to run Pokemon Arceus better than I was able to. And a lot of people want 4K. I don't really care. I don't think Nintendo needs it. But maybe if when it's docked, it's in 4K, you take it off, it's in 1080p. It should always run at 60 frames, especially if it's running at 1080p. That's pretty easy today. Better textures. Give me better further distance that you can see in games, because I bet Breath of the Wild on PC would be insane. And then faster load times would be really nice. Some of those games take a while to load. So I have an OLED model and a regular. I love the OLED model, so I don't think they're gonna give away. Here's what I think is gonna happen. Give it away. I don't think they're going to take the OLED away. I think what's going to happen is you're going to have an OLED model, an LCD model, and a light model. That's what I think. And the OLED model is going to be like $300 or $400. It's going to be the more expensive one. And it's going to be the one that you get 4K docked. You get all this kind of stuff. If you don't really want that, here's the regular Switch. LCD, 1080p gaming, 60 frames per second. But you're not getting that extra boost you get in the other one. And then here's a light model. It's 1080p, 60 frames per second, but it's on the go. Some of the stuff that's been leaked, not released. Let me rephrase that. The Switch looks way bigger. Now, I have a Steam Deck. It's actually right here. I think this is the perfect size. This is a Steam Deck OLED, and that's why I know 1080p, 60 frames per second, because that baby does it right there. And I like that. I think that's a perfect size. It's not too big to be portable, like the Lenovo Legion Go. I think that thing's way too big. But the Switch, you can size it up just a little bit. Is better Joy-Con design. We can't have drift on those things. I just bought replacement Joy-Cons for my original Switch because they were starting to drift, and they're broken again. And it's like, and I know I can contact Nintendo, get another one out, but it's like, man, come on, I don't want to do that. Just make them work. I like the kickstand on the OLED models. Really good. Make sure you put Ethernet built in on the dock, please, like the OLED model. Okay, please. Also, backwards compatibility. Now, Nintendo did come out and say that there was backwards compatibility, but there's a word that they left out, and I feel like it's on purpose. They didn't say physical. They didn't say all games. They just said your library will work on the Switch. What I could see Nintendo doing is a Nintendo thing and giving you an accessory that you plugged into your Switch 2 to be able to play the Switch 1 games. And I see that could happen, because if you want these higher games, Nintendo's not getting rid of physical. They're probably the only company that's selling physical like crazy. Like when you go around to game markets, game stores, what section has the most games? It's a Switch by far. So I feel like they're going to make that cartridge a little bit bigger, maybe 3DS, and but it'll be taller than the 3DS. I could see the cartridge being almost Game Boy size, maybe Game Boy Advance, except for the other way. I could see it being that size, and then you have to get an adapter to run the Switch games in it, which, hey, I'm totally fine with. I'm going to keep my Switch anyways, but, But backwards compatibility has to happen. You have an unbelievable Switch library. Don't do the Nintendo thing and not make it backwards compatible and then just re-release the games. Please don't do that. We don't need discs. I'm cool with the cartridges. I like them. So online features, get a new store, please, because it sucks. Make it easier to use, better user friendly. It's faster, all that kind of stuff. Built-in voice chat. Okay, get it on there. I would also like to see. I know this isn't online features. It kind of is. I would like to see more third-party support for games that, Call of Duty, things like that. There's no Call of Duties on the Switch because it just can't handle it. So I would like to see those come out. The biggest thing of all, price point. I feel like a $399 standard model. So that would be like the current gen Switch, but it's more powerful. Like it runs 1080p and it is more powerful than the current Switch, right? And it's larger. And then you have $450 for an OLED model, maybe even a 4K dock. Like the dock allows you to upscale to 4K. I don't think you should go any higher than that. I think it'd be way too hard to sell that thing. But who knows? It's Nintendo, man. Nintendo is the best. The Switch has to be the greatest console of all time, in my opinion. I think it passes the Super Nintendo, which used to be my favorite. Not really favorite personally. I just think the Super Nintendo, everybody can relate to that. Everybody can go back and play it. I think it's the most playable console, except for the Switch. I think the Switch passes it now. Anybody can pick up a Switch and play it. It's pretty simple, pretty easy, fun to play. Lots of games to play on it. Let me know your favorite Switch game. What's yours? Comment down below. Got to do the YouTuber thing, leave some comments. I think if the Switch 2, a little bit of a step up from the original Switch, it's a game changer. Nintendo's the owner, Sony and Xbox has to bow down right now. Release the Super Switch next year. One other thing, little last bit. When do I think it's going to be released? It's definitely going to be next year. I think it's going to come out in November. The other reason why I think it's going to be called the Super Switch, because if it releases next year, the Super Nintendo was released November 21st of 1990 in Japan as a Super Famicom. Came to America in 1991. But could you imagine if 35 years later, on November 21st, you have the Super Switch? What? That'd be crazy. That's what I think is going to happen. And that's why I think they're going to call it Super Switch. And then we'll have 10 more years of the Super Switch. And I guarantee you some of the releases still come out on the Switch because the install base is just so huge. What would you guys like to see on the Switch 2? Let me know down below. Make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button so you know where more of these types of videos are coming out, and so you can see some gameplay too. That's because that's what we do. We play some games. Peace out, you guys.